Hello, Nord.
Hello, spnanon.
Hello, this fine July morning during a heat wave. Would you mind rubbing this lotion on my back?
Of course, but we'd better get that bikini off you first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That sounded a bit suggestive. Can you rub this lotion on my cock?
Of course, anything for a dear friend of mine.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. Going into this episode 95 of the Strip Poker Night of the Inventory podcast, I'm your host, spnanon. This is my co-host, Nord, with our guest, Onboro, returning. And this episode is entirely devoted to the summer event running. Well, it'll be over now, but it runs for the first 2 weeks of July. It's outside of April Fools, which is kind of its own thing. This is, I'd say, SPNatI's single biggest like alternate skin holiday event. It's not even really a holiday, but this has pretty much always had the most characters, the most alt skins that get submitted every year, and overall as well throughout the years. I think it has far and away the most. I sort of looked recently at all the lists for all the different holidays. Now that I've dipped my toes into a lot of them, and the candy images on the main screen, they needed to be updated. I hounded the mods about that.
We did. We got around to updating them all.
Thank you for that.
For this event, at least.
There were, again, a lot of swimsuits, not just swimsuits, but summer alt skins added this year as well. We're going to go through each of them, and again, devote the entire episode to it, because there are enough of them that'll fill it out. And all three of us have contributed to at least one of these, multiple even. It's just sort of a natural fit for strip poker. You know, swimsuits are inherently pretty sexy. This event has I'd say the longest pedigree, if you don't count all characters in 2017 being jokes for April Fools, because around the same time there was the swimsuit edition, which is pretty much the only like offshoot of the game that ever really got off the ground. This is before alt skins were a thing. It was just like a separate version of, like a separate fork of the game all entirely, that just had a bunch of the existing characters in swimsuits, and they were basically different character folders altogether, as far as I knew at least. I never really engaged with it too much, but it did exist, and it sort of lives on in this way with how many people engage with the summer event. So we want to give it its due. And of course, the real mask off reason we're taking so much time is that Meia and Jura now have alt costumes for this, and of course other holidays. But now that they're starting to get alt skins, I actually give a shit, and we're not just going to do a lightning round. We're actually going to cover all of them in relative depth compared to before. So as usual, Onboro will give his thoughts first, and then Nord, and then me. Although if it's a costume one of us had a hand in, I guess we'll have to explain what exactly we foisted upon the world. Before we get into it, Onboro, Nord, either of you have anything to say about like the summer event in general that you want to get out there?
It's a nice event. I don't like the summer season, but swimsuits are cool.
Exactly how I feel as well. I think we've entirely...
Yeah, it kind of sucks if you're not actually on the beach in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
And you're sweating in your apartment.
I think we've entirely made the swimsuit fork of the game irrelevant. Not that it wasn't already irrelevant for years now, but definitely more and more people are taking advantage of being able to skip costume layers, so you can make a much simpler outfit. Although a common trend is that regardless of if layers are skipped or not, characters get sun hats. I think we have 3 or 4 characters who wear a sun hat. It just added this year alone.
That's the main news. Maybe compared to last year, I'm not sure exactly when it got added, but the technology for skipping layers was added relatively recently, and that has massively enabled swimsuit alts especially. They used to have to add a bunch of like little doodads and knickknacks to match the relative like layer count and sometimes even the weight of the base skin. And in a swimsuit, that means adding a whole bunch of sandals and sun hats and what have you. And
You say relatively recently, but like costumes last year were taking advantage of it, like Petra,
yeah.
Union, Hilda, like cutting down one or two layers. It's
I
just that this
suspected
year,
that.
now that the feature's been in the game for over a year, more people are aware of it and know how to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean that fits swimsuits, and especially like it makes for like quicker games, quicker, sexier games, which is kind of fun in its own way. If you want to, if you don't want to grind through like the 6, 7 layers that most characters have, it's nice to drop that down to like 3 or 4. Speaking of which, it's time to talk about these characters or these alt skins in what I believe is roughly the release order, starting with there's no host shilling corner this time because I've been teasing you about what I have planned or would have talked about in the host shilling corner the last like 3, 4 episodes. It is the summer alt skins of Meia Gisborne and Jura Basil Eldon, both from the anime Vandred. I mean, I've been hard at work engaging with alt skins, something I never really engaged with prior because I wanted to update their models before I got into any of that stuff. It would just be doubling the workload. Jura got a Christmas alt last year. Meia's Valentine's alt was updated. Thank you very much, Onboro, for helping out with that.
Yep.
Jura got an alt skin in May that was just for Barnett and unchanged for Jura, just an alternate outfit. And this was the simplest, actually, of them all, and the quickest. This was simply, I mean, they're both in one-piece swimsuits for the most part. There's not a whole lot going on under the hood except for the layer skipping. So Meia is down from 5 to 3, which you could argue she should always be because of the whole underwear gate thing. And then Jura is down from 6 to 4. But I did keep like the highlights of their strip sequences. Like for instance, Barnett still shows up with the camera. For instance, Jura pushes her hair bangs out of the way. And the main thing I just wanted to do was that because so these are not in the show. These are all based on promotional art, both of them. So you can see I post a little bit here. Meia's had a couple different like navy blue, dark blue swimsuits, one pieces, and that kind of fits her. She's she would be a swimmer. She likes exercise. She likes cardio. Jura and Barnett were just like random promotional art I found as well. There's Gasconia as well if you like her without a shirt on. Funny thing is, Jura actually had another swimsuit as well, which I did not use. It's kind of in the background of this image. So it's basically a two-piece, which does make sense for her. She's kind of lazing by the pool. That's more her role, as you could expect. She's more elegant. You can also see where I took that drink that she has. But I was considering what to do because she has like 2 different swimsuits and 2 different pieces of promotional art. And you would think I would go with this because it's different from Meia's. It's not a one piece, but one of the things that bothered me, one, it's kind of either red or black depending on the scan and like the resolution of it, so it's hard to say. For one thing, that doesn't stand out from her normal color scheme very much. It's the same color as her dress, basically. And the second thing was, ironically, the bikini bottom is actually thicker and more modest than the thong she wears. So, in my mind, it didn't really stick out. It didn't feel unique as a look for her. Whereas a bright white one piece that you see in this image was actually kind of unique and something you might not expect quite as much. But she has hopefully a little bit more of a celebrity look to her, very spoiled. And she's got her drink, which is an image attachment that I made. It includes the hand. It's actually an edited iPhone in Kisake, or a smartphone. That it's one of like the default held objects. Maybe you can see it now, but I just edited it to be a drink.
I'll never be able to unsee it.
I tried to think of like very little like minor things that would kind of set both of these alt skins apart from the many other swimsuits. And what I settled on is, the drink, both of them have either goggles or shades on. So for a while, you can't actually look them in the eye, and they both have the sort of moment where they take it off and you can look them in the eye. And that's kind of sexy in its own way. A girl finally taking it off, and you can look deep into her brilliant anime eyes. And for Meia, I'm sure you've noticed. So Jura's is called White Hot because they're both wearing white. I don't know what it is with Barnett's choker and cross. And of course, she has a different gun, as she does in all alt skins. It's a revolver in this case. Another new collectible you can get. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 from Dirty Harry. The 44 Magnum. But so that's called White Hot, and Meia's is called Soaking Wet. And basically what I tried to do with her is, hey, so for as of yet unpublished interaction with other characters, I actually did have a model lying around of Meia just soaking wet. Her hair is slick and droopy, and she's shinier all over. And there's big wet marks all over her body. So I said, hey, I don't believe any of the other swimsuits in the game have one where the character is actually wet. Like they just got done swimming. So why not do something with that? I already have it lying around it. So that made it pretty easy in the end. And yeah, I think that gave her a pretty nice, unique look as well. She stands out, and I finally got a use for it. And I enjoyed remaking all those butt poses with her new droopy, wet hair. It kind of highlights how long her hair actually is. It's nice when she has a bit of a long hair look, blowing in the wind or that sort of thing. I believe that's all I really had to cover with them. So I'm curious what you think. I did explicitly instruct you to play with both of them, obviously. But what did you think?
Yeah, so I like the models. Your attention to detail with the both of them is always nice to see. Having Meia be like dripping wet, that's a cool addition to her summer ults, and a bit of a unique flair to it.
She does dry off by the end. I didn't feel like making all of her very custom masturbation poses.
Yeah, that's very fair. I liked seeing how they changed their dialogue too. I saw like some interactions got a bit of flair to make sure that they're not conflicting with her actual, her usual lines that would probably don't make as much sense because they're not in their usual outfits.
Yeah, I with all of these, I've taken care to at least write some unique stripping generics if there's no targets playing.
Mm-hmm.
With any of the alt skins.
Yeah. Also, you were definitely right about not wanting to update them because the payoff is huge now. Obviously for all three of these models we see here. Funnily enough, I had to Sweetheart, who had an old custom last year, had to be unlisted because I updated her art when she got to main, but I didn't feel like reestablishing her. So yeah, but yeah, definitely the right choice here with Meia and Jura.
Well, it feels good to be vindicated.
Yeah.
I find it so funny, just in a meta way. I want to be clear, I dig this completely, but the fact that they just take the whole thing off and don't make a big deal about it, I think that's absolutely hilarious for a meta context.
That also too.
The struggle you went through with Meia's default costume when you updated it and changed how the strip order works, or just the sequence of it all. I think it's just perfect that they just take the whole thing off and don't make a fuss about it. There is a missed opportunity though. You updated Meia, you updated Jura, you updated Barnett, but Pyoro isn't wearing a lei or sunglasses, and I think that's a missed opportunity.
Give him one of those banana hammocks.
One of the what?
The banana. They're
Oh, banana hammock.
Yeah.
Honestly, that didn't even occur to me to change Pyoro. Maybe next year. That would be kind of funny to give him away.
When I first played with Jura, I expected her to take like the sunglasses off first, and I just found it just tickled me when she just like took the big sip of the drink and like was like, "There, all done." Handing it off to Barnett afterwards.
Yeah, that was annoying to pose, so I wanted to get rid of that first.
Understandable.
Really, I just really want to pose where she's just like sipping her drink and staring at you behind sunglasses, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Anything else to say? I think you both played with them. Yeah, so.
I did. I think you made the right choice in giving them both one-piece swimsuits. For like Meia and Jura specifically. I know Bonnet's a two-piece, but like he's only there incidentally. But like having Meia and Jura have almost matching outfits, I think it works a lot better. So it was definitely the right call.
Yeah, I like the uniformity there.
All right. I think that's enough for the both of them. I do really like them, obviously, and as I was working, and again, like it's if you level up your art enough, you'll just start to you'll work yourself up just doing the art. It's like, God damn, I love these bitches.
Absolutely.
Getting all hot and bothered in the summer heat. But I think it's time to move on to an alt skin still on testing. But Nord, you had a hand in this. Well, you had all the hands in this. Tell us all about Rose's beach flower, I believe it's called.
So Rose's outfit, I just entirely like made up from out of nowhere because characters in Plus Anima never wear anything this revealing. So like, I literally just decided like I'll make something incredibly fan servicey, and then I'll work my way backwards from there. So the justification I've given is that Rose implies she has already had success selling her like wares to people in or around the inventory, and so she decided to buy something really modern, in this case a two-piece, and she's very shy about showing herself off this much, but she's also really into it and like just enjoying herself. And she is one of many characters that just happens to wear a sun hat as like a extra layer. It was a lot of fun to make. I deliberately made it to try and get the underboob tag, which was brand new.
I was just about to say, the star of the show here is the underboob.
Mm-hmm.
But Onboro, I'll let you say your piece.
Oh yeah, I saw like Nord like making a lot of the swimsuit. And yeah, like the top is like really the like a really big part of it is just very unique and it's very appealing. I mean, yeah, that's really all I wanted to say here. Very cute.
I would feel guilty if we moved on too quickly, but after spending quite a while on Meia and Jura. But yeah, again, like it's okay to have a costume that is similar to a lot of the other ones. I mean, they all are kind of themed around a specific topic. You can only stray so far from the prompt most of the time, but you only need like that one little thing that makes them like unique and different. Whether it's being soaking wet or having sunglasses where you can't see their eyes through them, or in this case, big floppy sun hat and underboob, and a more like primitive bikini and sort of like tank top, where it's like really tight and pushing them together. And that alone is a memorable image, and I really appreciate that. And Rose is a super cute character to begin with, so her being embarrassed but positive is always really nice to see. I played with her. I played a game with her, and her dialogue wasn't a whole lot different, but there were unique alt skin generics here and there that I appreciate. I always appreciate when writers add those in. It makes the alt skin feel a lot more complete and thought out. And yeah,
Just remembered I forgot to push the update to this pose for her butt pose. So here's what the updated one will look like.
Huh.
I feel like I saw that. Is that not what I saw?
I don't think I updated it. Maybe I did and forgot. I had a lot of costumes to make this year.
God, look at the difference between. I guess I can post it. It was in the subreddit image, but look at the difference. Can you tell what each of us likes? Look what we spent our time on versus the boobs that Nord clearly spent his time on. You can always tell in the end. Dick reveals all. Anything else to say about Rose? I mean, obviously a very cute kitty cat.
Not really.
You don't think about cats in summer very much, do you? Moving on to, well, we haven't moved on from Nord. Here he is, back again, with a gruesome twosome. Zeke and Pandoria. Also, I mean, really taking the roster by storm. I think they're doing quite well, especially for a male character. Probably, again, because he has a female character stapled to him. And apparently it does have an inspiration. So I guess, yeah, Rose's costume really didn't have any kind of source material, right?
No, none at all. Like maybe I say that was sort of an amalgamation of things from like Onboro that I just went with a new design for. With these two, Xenoblade 2 had a challenge mode added in DLC that let you have unlockable costumes. This is a big thing in Xenoblade, is that you can like change the appearance of your characters through unlockables. And all of the games have like swimsuits you can get. And it's a lot of fun, like completely ruining the dramatic tension of some of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the game by having everyone be in their swimwear while they're doing it. So in this case, for Zeke, it's called the Surfinator, and for Pandoria, it's called Beach Date. And hence the name Surfinator's Beach Date for their costume name. This is the sort of costume where I had to completely redo all of their forfeit poses as well.
Oh, God.
Because, spoiler alert, one change in this costume is that they're both shaved in their later stages. I'm pretty sure by the end of it, for some of the poses that were really difficult, I just gave up doing it in Kisuke again, and I just photoshopped the images that were left to fix them.
Respect.
If you ever think I'm obsessed with pubic hair, I'm going to say I didn't even notice that they were shaved.
Yeah, I also didn't notice.
I think it just fits Pandy to be shaved because she's got like electrical components, artificial, smooth. But anyway, anything else you want to say about the project before we opine? I know you had to do that kanji on Zeke's time. We had to DM about it because you
I didn't know what it was, and like I kept going back and forth of, is this what it really means?
You requested my help.
In the end, we came to the conclusion that it was just very stylized, and so I literally just traced over it to get it to work.
I think it means like Supreme Emperor or something like that. The bottom kanji definitely means king.
Yeah.
The top one I wasn't familiar with. I had to just draw it in a dictionary.
But let me know what you two thought.
Right. Okay. Guess I like the outfits. I always like seeing when a character has like a cannon alt, and then it makes it into like the way to SPNatI. I like seeing these two all the time. They're fun characters, and then just seeing them have a cool alt like this, just nice.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too. Is drawing from some kind of canon source material, because that feels like you're representing more of the character, and it's something more for fans to appreciate. And if it creates a unique look for them, even better. Male swim trunks, that's not a huge thing that's in the game. She's got the, Pandy's got the very floofy bikini and skirt. That's nice for her as well. And I don't envy you. Like, this had to have been a ton of work with the way they're structured. Even like every pose just seems like so custom and so like you'd have to wrestle with it. So the fact that you were able to knock this out so quick is impressive. Like, I think you did this after Rose, right?
Yeah, I had committed to doing a bunch of other characters first, and so they were very much the one I did last to make sure that, like, if they were slightly late, the only one who would be upset is me. But in the end, it didn't even come to that because I got ahead of schedule.
Yeah, a number of these came out before the summer event, actually. Like, that's why May and Jura were first, because they came out, like, at the beginning of June. They were just sitting there and offline for bug testing, which is good because they had a number of bugs. But yeah, these got in on time. And I played with them. I didn't notice that they were shared, but I very much enjoyed their dynamic as always, and I'm still not quite sure how their posing actually works. I think all their poses are custom, right? So you can kind of slot in who you need when you need it.
Yeah, like it's entirely like put together in the pose maker. And oftentimes they make use of pose sets as well because for file space reasons they don't have a finished stage. It just reuses poses from stage 6 instead.
Right.
And so all of their poses have to be custom anyway, and then I use pose sets so that I only have to make 4 copies of each custom pose. One that is all stages, one that is their nude stage, one that is their forfeit stage, and then one that is their finished stage. So for each new pose I add, I only have to make it 4 times.
If that sounds like a lot of work, just imagine it without the pose maker.
Oh god.
Imagine the file space.
God.
You'd have like 2 poses.
Yeah.
Anything else, or is it time to move on?
No, that's about it.
Okay, well, if you think this is very much not lightning round is going too slow, even for that description, here's an alt skin that we neither of us or none of us actually worked on. Kyouko Toushino, who we talked watercolor Dapples, I believe it's called. We talked about Kyouko Toushino 2 episodes ago, episode 93. I praised Lil David's commitment to the project and how robust she already was and how many alt skins she already had. And lickety split, he just adds another to celebrate her making main roster. Just participate in the first event that comes after, which is which is pretty simple. You know, jean shorts and I guess that's sort of a watercolor artistic motif going on with her top, asymmetrical top. Just a fun bikini top and bottom. But what did you two think?
It's cute. I like how like her bow changes. Like Lil Dave is good at attention to detail too. The bra is cute. I'm not the bra. The top.
Even a ribbon is polka dotted. I didn't notice.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this like comes from like any sort of basis or if it's like Lil David just muse wherever it took him. But it looks pretty nice. I like how her shorts have her swimsuit like peeking through. That's a neat little detail.
I would agree. David takes a lot of time for Kyouko. He's a mad lad, definitely. This design, it's... How to phrase this? This design for her outfit is pretty simple, but she makes it feel a lot more dynamic because of how expressive she is and all of her posing and all. This was true for like her like other costumes as well. The only thing I would fault this costume on is that her like removing short sprite is a bit goofy because it relies on skewing the sprite a little too much.
I see what you mean. I do think it. Oh yeah.
Like I get like for that one you posted, I think I wouldn't even have noticed it unless except for like this one I did notice it.
Listen, dude, I get it, but yeah. I mean, you stare at it for more than a second, and it's like, ooh, where's gravity?
Yeah.
I mean, I just had to like custom draw like a towel hanging down, for instance, when you take it off.
Like that's the only fault I really have with this costume. Overall, it's really good, and it's one where she keeps the ribbon on. Important Kyouko lore.
Yeah, it's great when you use alt skins as an opportunity to mix up the strip order as well, and you know, do everything you can to give the character a unique look, even if it's not unique among the different alt skins in the event. at least make it qualitatively different from the main skin. So fans of the character can get them in a different look. Lingerie or a bikini. Something fun. I did not get a chance to play with this one in particular, but yeah, I appreciate Lil David's efforts, and I agree with what you said. Like, her bouncy personality gives a lot of character to it fits her really well. How much is going on, despite how little surface area there actually is, and it fits her hobby, I guess, as a comic artist. So I really like it. I don't know if it's from something. Maybe Yuri has a beach episode, but this is good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, let me tell you, did you ever think for one goddamn second that Monika from Doki Doki Literature Club would not be robustly supported, both by fans and creators? Because Monika got a huge model update not too long ago. I think only just a matter of months. And that was going to leave some of her alt skins out to dry. Fittingly enough for the beach. I think the love bug that she has for Valentine's is still outdated now. But this one, Stirring Mermaid.
Both of her costumes were like 2 model updates out of date.
Yeah, she's been around the block. Yeah, she's had these alt skins for a long time, and she's had many different models. But this one, Stirring Mermaid for summer, got updated to her most recent uber detailed model. Very nice to see. So there's probably a little bit less to talk about, but the gradients and the ruffles and the custom drawn assets, very nice. Fits in with her new model very well. I don't know why it was deleted. Why did you delete it?
So spoiler alert, I did this and I noticed an error in the one I had posted and I've just fixed it.
All right. I kind of gave my thoughts there, but what did you think, Onboro?
It's very impressive art-wise. Like she has a nice floppy sun hat. That's cool. I'm not sure if it counts as a sarong when it's this long, but her whatever she's wearing on her bottoms, they're pretty good. Yeah, it's like transparent and also gradients, like very artistically impressive. The swimsuit is cool. Orange fits her as a color. She has camel toe, which it's like not a thing I'm like particularly into, but it's interesting to see. And those are all my thoughts.
Really, you don't like girls with bulges? Oh, so this is from something. What is this from?
Yes. TDLC.
Yeah, so it turns out Faraway Vision originally made the costume, and he told me that it was based on this costume for Springfield from Girls Frontline.
Another of his interests.
So having that exactly. So having this handy really helped with reworking this costume. Because Cavendish just asked me like a couple of months in advance if I could do this for summer, and I agreed because I think Monika is best girl. Do not interact with me if you disagree. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to make.
This is where I leave the call.
Get out! But yeah, it was a lot of fun to update this. I think Cav did a good job adding just a bit of extra dialogue to it as well. And it was fun coming up with the like flashing pose for it as well, because he asked me to incorporate that as well. Yeah, I'm glad it's been well received. The sarong type skirt was definitely the hardest part.
It looks really nice though. It's not a bunch of rectangles and circles, unlike some people. I cannot begrudge someone for making or for using a costume from another source material entirely as their character's alt skin. And I do think it fits her pretty nicely. It's elegant. It's kind of refined, but it's also welcoming in its own way. But it hides some secrets. I think it fits her very nicely. And of course, obligatory mention of the sun hat. We will never unsee on any of the characters now that Nord has brought it up as the standard accessory. I was thinking about giving Jura one for a while, but it's like, it's cliche. Springfield does at least look a little bit like Monika. Maybe that was the inspiration. Too bad it isn't Springfield. They probably have something to talk about with other gun girls. Ready to move on?
Think
Yep,
so.
and next up on the agenda, Onboro. You give Sanny and Tess their own Futa-Filled summer outfit.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Okay.
We covered Sanny and Tess as testing roster characters last episode, and we have Onboro on once again to talk about their summer costume that he made. They're not quite on the main roster yet, but they've briefly been allowed entry. To hang with the big girls and boys on the main roster for the summer event, which is always nice to see.
Right. So the summer costumes, they're pretty simple. It's like there's the custom tops for the both of them, and then Sandy has a sarong going on. It honestly, it could probably use like more detail. The sarong anyway. I made this like a few years ago, or yeah, a few years ago is probably right, because like when they were not allowed on testing, I was just making a lot of alts because just like it was fun to do. So now I have like a back pile of alts that I can put in the game if I'm not criminally lazy.
Really, do they have more waiting in the wings?
Yeah, man. One for almost like every season. I think the one I don't have is Valentine's, really.
Ironic.
Yeah.
I did not know that. All right, look forward to more Futa-Filled goodness.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you on again.
Were you inspired by anything in particular for these designs, or did you just go with what looked right?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to. It was interesting because I wanted to make, obviously like different looks for the both of them. I noticed that like whenever I was like making alts, I would usually give like Sandy darker colors and then Tess lighter colors. So I flipped that. What they're wearing is like still like kind of similar to like their base outfits. Like Sandy's wearing a skirt while she's bottomless, right? And then Tess is wearing shorts or like pants like in her usual, and then it has a bulge in her underwear. But
that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't make like a bulge in the sarong.
Nah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe next year.
That's the spirit. I mean, it's an alt skin. You don't have to go that hard.
Yeah.
Literally. Anything else you want to mention about them, or tease for the future? I guess.
No. And if I ever do unvault one of those skins, it would probably be the one for Halloween because that was the one I had a lot of fun with. But that's all I can say.
I like the ties on Tess's swim trunks. Those are custom, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're pretty simple to do. I think they're just like 4 each, or not 4 each, but 4 in total.
Nord, what did you think?
I have a note here saying good under boobage. So
yeah,
I would definitely say that. Like you say, it was pretty simple, but all of this was like early custom for the top at least. Like none of it's just like a Kisake default slapped on top of the model. So the effort is definitely recognized. I like this design a lot, and I didn't even really think about the fact that you've sort of like flipped which has the lighter and darker colors, but I think it works well for this costume.
Right.
Keeping their like green, purple, and white colorage is pretty good.
Yeah, that was also another thing. They swapped colors entirely. Sandy's wearing green while Tess is wearing purple.
Thanks, Doc.
When are we gonna get a costume that flips their hair colors? Or would that be too cursed?
If they ever get a second April Fool's out, maybe.
Well, it's like I was saying before, just everything you can do to make them unique from both the main skin and from others in the event. That under boobage, that's good stuff. I'm not sure if they have the tag like Rose does, but a little bit different with the bikini, where it's more just like covering the front and not supporting as much from underneath. The custom ties on the swim trunks and the different color schemes, it all goes a long way. And these have come out really nice. I played with these as well, and they fit in on a table pretty nicely. They're on their way to being main roster.
Yeah,
Keep
thanks,
up the
man.
good work.
Thanks.
So probably now moving on to the one alt skin that has perhaps generated the most thirst because the server is nothing if not predictable. Stocking Beach Treat. Life's a beach after all, and that's why we invited Stocking. And boy howdy, has she been putting on the winter weight well into summer. This is by Carbol, who has made a spectacular return. It's nice to see him again. He's been kind of gone for a while. I'm not sure if anyone else was involved.
Well,
I think Carbol's not really an artist.
Blue Jay made the actual art,
Okay.
and then Carbol has just gone and updated the dialogue. Stocking now targets like all the other characters that have summer costumes, but she does it while she's also in her summer costume. Pretty neat.
Yeah,
and
so,
yes, she was made chubbier, and the server has gone absolutely mental over it.
SMH.
Myself included.
SMDH. It's not to say she looks bad, but yeah, I mean, I should probably post the comparison here.
Apparently, her default costume is due to get updated for a similar amount of weight and
Oh my god,
like,
her
customization.
her titties deflated. She didn't gain weight; it was just redistributed. Yeah, her boobs are saggier, even if they're technically the same size, and she's a lot thicker around the waist, especially, and I think the thighs a little bit. That's where all of it went. But Carbol did go out of his way to actually write a lot of dialogue about like beach treats and watermelons and fruit parfaits and all that good stuff. She is into it, and she is adamant that she did not put on any weight, even though everyone loves her for it anyway, because she gets to have her cake and eat it too. Onboro, what did you think of Stocking Beach Treat?
No, I like it. It's another swimsuit with like the canon outfit for it. So yeah, it looks nice. I like that detail of her talking about summery like snacks, foods. Yeah, I'm probably good at flat for this, but I'm not really one for chubbiness, honestly. So just like it's okay, but like otherwise it's like it's still impressive.
Now you know how it feels with the Futa.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like the costume. I like the dialogue up that she's gotten. I think if this reflects how her default look is going to be updated, I think it's well worth it. You might disagree, but I think it's part of the appeal of stalking. Like even though like the original cartoon is for the most part in that like really super deformed Powerpuff Girls reminiscent art style, there's still a lot of comedy made over like how stalking is addicted to eating sweet things, so of course it's going to affect her. But it's part of why people love her.
I just love writing targets where Meia and Jura go all mean girls on her. It's like, really, we watching that waistline, huh? Did you have anything else to say on her?
I would like the record to show that my note for her costume is made her chubby. Let's fucking go. And that about summarizes my thoughts.
I mean, one thing I really admire about this is the commitment to pretty much completely change her model, right? You talk about making an alt skin unique. How about completely change their body type, including her boobs even, which got saggier. I mean, that broadens the appeal, and it's an appeal that already exists, and I think has some justification in the source, right? There's like an episode where she's gaining weight.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I should probably watch Panty and Stocking. I'd probably like it.
It's pretty good.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, like I appreciate that, and like as far as the whole, like I'm not really on the chubby chaser train, but I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it. She's kind of squishy and fun. She's a little flabby and shaking around. I mean, with every fat girl, there's a line. There's the line from thick to fat, and it's like I can roll with it. I can roll with it. I can roll with it. You're too fat. For me, at least, I think this is like, this is right on the line. Like I can kind of roll with it. It's a bit much, but she's not like, it works for me. It fits her because she's like kind of a stuck-up bitch anyway. She's haughty. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I would like to fuck Meia on top of a fat girl.
Where's that coming from?
They make a good cushion.
Jesus.
Those are my thoughts, though. Very well done. Very impressive. And you talk about changing the outfit. Why don't you change the whole body? She's shaved, too. Just noticed. Next up is Toph from Avatar The Last Airbender, who's a character who got an alt skin last Christmas, and now she has one here, Fire Nation Vacation, where I'm going to guess that they infiltrated the Fire Nation at some point. Again, I haven't seen the Avatar The Last Airbender, the greatest missed opportunity of my childhood, apparently. But I believe that's the source material for this. She hasn't gotten a whole lot of updates outside of these alt skins, but Spaceman has taken the time to give her these alt skins for these events. So, Onboro, what did you think of Toph Fire Nation Vacation?
Yeah, okay. It's interesting to look at because like it's not a traditional thing you'd see in like this type of event, right? Obviously, it's not to say it's not like themed for the event. Like I remember talking with Spaceman about it, and he was like talking about like her pants, right? And I was like looking around just to see what kind of pants. Apparently, they're like fisherman pants. That's so like obviously like when someone's going fishing, I guess in like Chinese areas or maybe not China, but like Asian race, Asian like places that they'd be fishing like in the water, and those are the types of pants you'd wear. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I just like that aspect of it.
Yeah, Avatar in general is based around like Asian cultures in general, and
Yeah,
I think the Earth Kingdom is supposed to be like China adjacent, right?
yeah, and the Fire Nation is like industrialized Japan. But like while they were in the Fire Nation, this was Toph's outfit essentially. And there were a couple of episodes in or around a beach.
Nord, what did you think? You're the expert.
I think a really good job was done here. I only played with it for the first time the other day because it was a little bit later to the event itself, but which seems to be a thing with the Spaceman being fashionably late with his event costumes. But all the same, well done. And I didn't notice at first that this was one layer shorter than her base costume, and the trick is she's going commando, which was an interesting reveal for me. So I had to double check that after the game. There's definitely appeal here, and I think he's done a good job at adapting the costume and making it fit. As Onboro said, it's not really like directly summer themed, but it does make sense when you consider like the color scheme in general, and like considering like from the source how like you saw her at the beach in this, it makes sense.
Well, fire, heat. It's not that big of a leap.
I would say this is sort of like a contender for like if we have it so that you can unlock event costumes year round. This is one of the first ones I would suggest.
Because it's from the actual show.
Because it's from the actual show, and because like you could ignore it being like a summer costume if you really wanted to make it an evergreen. But it definitely deserves highlighting during the event.
Yeah, and I respect the fact that it is, it's not a swimsuit. It looks different. It's culturally very different from other costumes in the summer event. It stands out, and it stands out on her as well for little touches like going commando and the color scheme. And that's the fact that it's source relevant is just the cherry on top. It's a nice touch and a great choice as far as I can tell. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play with this one specifically, but really the reason for that is because I targeted it and I noticed that as far as I could tell, she really didn't have any lines for it, or barely any. And that kind of, admittedly, like that's extra work, but it kind of turned me off from playing because it's like at that point, well, why not just look at the images in her folder if she's not going to say anything different? So that's my recommendation, but like the the art itself is really nice. Just, consider writing some more generic stripping lines to give her that extra flavor. We're almost wrapping up. We have our final full costume to talk about, fully new costume. Another testing character who just decided to jump out in front and streak with her pants down in the main roster in the style of Yuichi Jin way back when. It's Aoi Asahina, who we talked about a few episodes ago, rocking pretty standard swim outfit. It's a bikini, it's a sun hat, it's an inner tube, which is not even the first there. Sayaka's summer alt. It's pretty old, but she had a hamburger, I think. And this one's a donut. Very, very pink glazed looking. It looks like something that Homer Simpson would eat. I should note, though, that this is pretty much it's a good highlight of a model update that just went through for Aoi Asahina, which is her new boobs, mostly. I have to say, even more than the costume itself, those boobs, fucking massive improvement over what she had before, which looked kind of flat and bad and cross-eyed. These are masterful. I cannot get enough of these. It makes me feel bad that I didn't do a little bit better with Jura's, honestly. These are great. They look full. They're nice and shaded. They have some line work. They have some shine. I love them. They look 3D. They look very grabbable. I want to reach into my screen and grab them. Onboro, what did you think of Aoi Asahina Summer?
Right. Okay. So I was gonna say like another like there's another swimsuit that's based off like a canon one, but actually from Danganronpa S specifically, which is a spin-off of Danganronpa, where it's summer themed. But I was actually looking it up. It's actually not the same swimsuit. It has the same colors, but it's not exactly the same one. I also found another one where I think they got the pool floaty idea from. I'm not sure if that's official or if someone else was working on it, but yeah. It looks nice. Otherwise, I think the sun hat is small. I usually see bigger sun hats, but it's not really like a criticism. The donut is. I think the donut could use some work because it's got kind of visible as two pieces. I think I just like get rid of some of the. It's hard to describe it in just by saying it, but like I'd get rid of like a line near like where they're like folding in, so it looks like they're more connected. But that's really it.
Yeah, you posted the reference art here. You can talk about it, Nord.
I don't really get the connection between Hina and donuts.
I think she just likes them.
Yeah, she really likes donuts. Even in her like her splash art for the base Danganronpa game, you can like literally see her eating donuts, and then she talks about it a lot because in Danganronpa they're all like trapped in the school, so she talks about donuts because like cause they don't have donuts there, so just nice to have donuts.
Yeah, fair enough. Another sun hat where I think this costume's pretty decent. I know Ace was working on a hair down variant for her, and given that she is wearing a hat, I think it would almost be more fitting for this to be a costume where she just has her hair down for the whole thing instead of it being in that lick like it currently is. But overall, it's pretty cute. I like that she like keeps the sun hat on for longer, just to make her like stand out visually from the other summer characters.
Yeah, he could have done a little bit more to distinguish her from other costumes and from herself. Like letting her hair down, for example. But for a start, for something he could improve in later years, I think it's pretty good.
Absolutely,
it's at least like close, kind of to the source art. If you wanted to get this like more accurate, this bikini where she's really filling out the thing, especially up top. You could have something really special. For the time being, it's not bad. Again, maybe not the best use of development on testing because she still does need some improvements, but I think she is coming along. And it's not bad to have content, especially for a character so associated with water. Anything else on her?
I'm noticing like a bit of like errors, like some minor art things. I see. Actually, I was gonna say her shoulders, but you can see her shoulders up here. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Her hands are a bit weird. They're not like connected to her arm fully. Also, there's like a weird section here. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, like in the middle. Uh, yeah, I mean that's really it. Those are my nitpicks.
She has like lines under her collarbone that clip through the bikini.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what those are supposed to be. I thought those were supposed to be her collarbone, but you can like see she has like a Kiseki default collarbone. I'm not sure if that's something that's like not supposed to be there, or actually, I guess she just has them on her, or maybe that's supposed to emulate like the end of her collarbone, but they seem a bit too. They seem to like a bit low down at that point.
I mean, looking at the Danganronpa sprite, I think that's just how
Yeah.
it is with her.
Well, yeah, but in the Danganronpa sprite, that's the shadow's supposed to emulate. Oh, yeah, that's where her collarbone ends, right? Just but I don't think Ace like understood that when putting them down here.
It's not quite as accurate as professional reference are, but
Yeah,
it's a start. So yeah, this inner tube covering her nethers kind of reminds me of Mormon bubble porn, where they just cover up the bikini bottom. It looks like she's naked.
yeah.
Anyway, we have one last kind of costume to talk about here. Nord, you updated Aqua Konosuba's model and therefore her summer alt. So you can briefly describe that, but it's time to wrap up. So go ahead.
Yep, that's right. Just really quickly, this was from last year, I believe. And simply enough, I just had to update her summer costume to use her new face and hairstyle. Took a couple days work because for every pose I had to like redo it and fix up broken image attachments or her like back of her hair flipping the wrong way. But overall, like not much else changed about it. I made sure like some of the newer poses were properly like updated. She has like a double butt pose with Aqua Kingdom Hearts that I had to update as well because someone finally made a bug report for it and pointed out, oh yeah, I never factored in this costume. But yeah,
She looks good though, and hopefully she'll be getting another franchise made on main roster before long.
wonder what sort of swimwear Darkness will wear.
She'll seal herself up in like a burlap sack, and drop herself in the river. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, summer is big, and it took up the entire episode because we weren't trying to go that fast. But that was a pretty solid hour or so. Thanks once again for coming on, as always, Nord, and especially Onboro, these past two episodes. I'm glad you got the chance to talk about Sanny and Tess. You're obviously very passionate about them, and
Yeah, it was fun.
you've dipped your hands in a lot of different projects, and I think the effort really shows off,
Yeah.
or really shows. You put out good stuff, man. So we'd be happy to have you back anytime.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Anything else either of you want to shill or say in general? Which of these was your favorite or anything?
My favorite was probably Zeke and Pandoria's.
Thank you. I think you did a great job on Sanny and Tess. Spnanon, of your two darlings, I'm gonna have to go with preferring Jura's.
Why is that?
I think the drink is what like really made it click for me. As weird as it is to say. And as I mentioned, the missed opportunity of Puro not wearing a lei or sunglasses or a banana hammock.
Next time. Yeah, that drink, I mean, again, it's just another little thing. But I've repeated myself enough. As for me, you all know who my favorite is. Good night, everybody.